Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Transformers Friday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Skullgrin. Let's get into it! Let's start our pretending with a look at the packaging. On the top we have, a hook. Hey, that's made of plastic. I thought this was plastic free. Oh, that's just the window. Transformers Legacy and some bits and bobs around the edges there. On the front, again, plastic free packaging. Oh wait, what's that? That's plastic too. Aiding up to Karatomi, Generation Skullgrin. And he's a Decepticon, see? Transformers Legacy, Hasbro print, and he's deluxe class. On the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, symbols I'm not going to learn, a barcode, and includes figure, 3 accessories, and instructions! Some Cybertronian writing there, and some nice artwork of Skullgrin in his robot mode. And then the Decepticon Legacy artwork, authentic Transformers Legacy. And finally on the back, Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, Skullgrin. Nice digital renders of both modes, transforms in 20 steps. Parents, this! And if you want to scan it, there it is. Warning, attention! Achtung! Don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to the babies. Hasbro print. And some more small fine legalese made in Vietnam print, and that thing. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at Skullgrin in his alt mode and his accessories. And we'll start off with the handy dandy instruction manual. There we have a nice illustration of Skullgrin in his robot mode. Skullgrin, Transformers Legacy 8 and up, Generations Transformers Hasbro. Symbols I'm not gonna learn. And here we have on the inside of the instructions, nicely printed with no real blurring. There may be a little bit, but it's not real bad. But for the most part, they're clearly printed. Also, nice illustrations that clearly illustrate the alt mode. Now, let's talk about the weapons. These gun sword doodads, of course, are very rubbery. They are not rigid at all. They're just... Anyway. It's got a post here where it posts in. I'll show you on the tank mode here in just a minute. And then it has handle here for it to be used as a sword, but also can go in its hand using this post as a firearm or blaster or whatever. And I will have to say, I think they're molded in this white, and then the rest of it is a paint app, and that does seem to be the case. And it does have nice molded details in it. However, you will notice I have had this pegged in to the figure in its tank mode, and you can see some paint rubbing here already, where the paint on the figure has come off on this. Unless I've got it backwards, but I don't think I do. About the paint apps. Now let's talk about the alt mode. And I don't know if you guys can tell, I really do not want to talk about it. This front end piece is really loose. It does not tab in and hold, at least like I think it should. It That may be due to design, but I don't think so. I just think I think it's supposed to actually fit on there better, unless I have mine mistransformed, which I do not believe that I do. And you know, things just want to come untabbed, and it's just really a mess. And just the design of it, I don't. You know, we've got these treads back here, and these small treads are supposed to support all of this load on the front end here with no additional support. I suppose maybe it's supposed to be hovering in the front, but if that's the case, why doesn't the whole thing hover? And why don't we just get a little bit of tank tread molded on the bottom there to solve that issue? And then we've got this just hollow all the way through piece. I'm not down with this alt mode at all. You do have some spinning rotation right here. Of course, that piece does come off. There's a post and a port, and it just goes right in there. And then, you know, these also will remove, and you could, no, that's a port up there. Now, as far as the extra weapons they store, it's right here. There's 2 ports on the tank treads, and you can either put it in the back or the front. It doesn't need any more weight on the unsupported front, so I'm just gonna stick them on the back, and it's just, front is just floppy, and I do not like it. I just wish there was a way to make it more compact back into this way, and that would have solved some issues, I think. But this is what we got. Very, I would say this is the most disappointing alt mode I've come across in a long time, and I know exactly they just really didn't put any effort into it. It feels like, and you know, I hate to say that, but that's just how this feels to me. Is that the alt mode, there just wasn't much effort put into it. That's just how it feels to me. It looks weak. It feels weak. It's not designed well, which is a shame, because, and I know what it is. I guess they were just, Hasbro was figured on the name and the robot mode selling this, and for the most part it probably will. I mean, I got it because it's Skullgrin, and I liked Skullgrin. And, you know, even the bottom of it's messy. I'm not... I don't like this. I don't like it at all. And, you know, it does have some throwback to the original G1 figures alt mode, which I honestly, I tell you, I think is better. His arms flipped up, and then you basically just bent him over in half, and it came out. I know it was really simple, but it's sometimes simple works better. And so, again, like I said, this is one of the most disappointing alt modes that I've come across in Legacy. Of course, I'm not that big of, you know, into the Beast Wars figures that are in the line, which are basically just, for the most part so far, except for maybe 2 or 3 new ones, you know, just repaints of Kingdom Beast Wars guys. Of course, the Inferno and Tarantulas, and was it the Transmetal Megatron, I guess, which of course are not ones I'm planning on getting, because Beast Wars is not my thing. And for those of you that it is your thing, that's fine, and I don't begrudge them using slots in the line to give you guys something, because you know, everybody deserves a little bit of something. G1, G2, Beast Wars, the Unicron trilogy, you know, IDW. So, you know, all the Transformers universe, Diaclone, even, you know, they deserve some love, so I don't begrudge anything. But this is just, it's again, it's very disappointing, and I don't think they really put much thought into the. I don't feel like maybe they did, but it just doesn't feel like that they put much thought into making this a viable alt mode. But that, my friends, does it for a look at Skullgrin in his disappointing alt mode and his accessories. It's time for alt mode comparisons, and here's Deluxe class Skullgrin with core class Bomb Burst and core class Iguanus, because they're some of his pretender buddies. And on the very end, we have the weapon mode of the Power of the Primes Prime Master Skullgrin armor. For our final set of alt mode comparisons, here we have Skullgrin next to the Titans Returns Legends class Bumblebee and the Amazon exclusive Earthrise Leader class Alternate Universe or Dead Optimus Prime. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the comedy portion of our program, where I attempt to transform this Transformer. And let's just start by taking all the weapons off. And that way they're out of the way. Then what we want to start by doing is untabbing these treads back here. Straighten them out, and as you can see, there's a tab right here. And the slot is... where's the slot? Oh, it's right here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Then let's go ahead and flip this up and separate it. And as you can see, there's a tab in the slot and a slot in a tab as they fit together. Let's go ahead and straighten those out. And I want to say, let's go ahead and push those into place. And down here, back on this end, you can see there's hinges, double hinges in here. And just use those double hinges to straighten the legs out. And as you do, let's separate them out. And there's a tab in a slot and a tab where they fit together. And then we'll flip those pieces up and spin these around like this and fold them up. I get the legs straightened out. I think they collapse down into there. There we go. Yep, that's correct. And then let's do the same thing on this side. I keep saying I want to do it that way. There it goes. And then as you do that, the knees will go into place here. Not the easiest. And let's straighten that up. let's see, right there. That panel opens, and then that's where the head goes out as you spin this around on these hinges. And that just tabs into place. And then put the head all the way up. Close this piece down. Put the head back into position there. And on the sides here you can see the hands. Flip those out. Twist the arms forward. Again, let's do the same thing on this side. And then spin the arms around. And then let's fold the horns out like that. And then you have several options as far as what you want to do with these. There's the post right there and the port right here. You can put those on that way. You can unport the weapons or the guns, and you can post them on sides of the shoulders like such. They will also peg in under the arm like that, which is a little closer to the original transformation. The original transformation, in order to make the guns, the fists were on one end of it and the barrels on the other end, and you just flip them around. So I think I'll do them like that. So peg it in there, and you know, in this mode, you are doing them this way, you don't have to lose the hands, so that's a bonus. Now for these sword gun thingies, oh, and I forgot to mention, this piece folds down for his tail. So on these pieces, you can plug them in like that, where they face downward once they're plugged in. So, but that doesn't really work too well with the legs. So we'll rotate them up and then peg this piece back in. So you can leave them like that. Which I think that looks pretty cool. And you know, you also have other options. You can peg these in or port them in up here on top of the shoulders as well, like we did with the cannons a while ago. Or you can, of course, hold them in his hands like this. Or you can port them in like this, and you can use it as a sword. So you can use it as a gun or a sword, either way. Or gun sword. Or sword gun. But there you have it, folks. Skullgrin all transformed into something better than that crappy alt mode. Well, let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And as far as his accessories goes, he's got these two big cannons with some nice sculpted detail and a port here, and I'm assuming it's molded in this color, and then this gunmetal is a paint app, and there's two of those exactly the same. Well, maybe not exactly the same, they might be opposite. Then we have two of these that are exactly the same. It's a sword, you can hold it this away, or it's a gun, you can hold it this away, or it can store on his back like I just had it. Nice molded details, a very soft plastic, rubbery plastic. And again, I think this is molded all in white, and then this gunmetal is the paint app. And of course, there are two of those. Now, one other thing I want to mention that I forgot to do in the transformation is this piece right here that folds back like that. You dupe, and it does that a lot. And if it does, just snap it back in. But they are supposed to go up like that. Well, let's take a look at it in robot mode. Him in robot mode. And of course, the robot mode on the original did not have the skull on it. That was on the Pretender shell. But they're not doing Pretender shells right now. Maybe at some point in the future they'll get around to it. Who knows? But I do have to say that skull looks pretty cool. Now, it does suck that these horns don't like clip into place, and so they stay where they're supposed to. Molded all in white, it looks like, with the paint app for the eyes there. Decepticon Tampo right here in the middle of the chest. Nice skull for his belt piece. And even the little spikes on the side there, and some spikes up here, which if I recall correctly, the Pretender shell had like spikes on the shoulders and then on the belt as well, just like this. And of course, here's the little tail, and it's articulated, but that's mainly for transformation. A little bit messy on the back side here, lots of open spaces here on the underside of the forearms. And of course, this piece right here, storage on either side for weapons. But I like the colors of this, and I like the skull, and I like the belt. I mean, the robot mode doesn't look horrible like the alt mode does, but you know, past that now. Where'd that hair come from? Alright, let's talk about his articulation. He can look up that far, and you can't really look down. And no chicken neck, no waggle to speak of. And there's that piece popped off again. But if you lift the head up just slightly there, he can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, you can get, looks like slightly better than 90 degrees. Does have a 360 degree rotation at the shoulder, as well as at the upper bicep, which is on a mushroom peg. And a single hinge at the elbow gives you that much bend. And then you could say he has up and down at the wrist, but that's just part of transformation. Now at the waist, you do have to flip up the tail piece out of the way, but he does have a full 360 degree rotation there at the waist. As far as the hips, let's see. I can get him to do about that much of the splits. There is a cut here at the upper thigh on a double mushroom peg, and it does give you a 360 degree rotation. And with a little bit of force to it, he can kick forward that far, and back about that far. At the knee, a single hinge there gives you about a 90-degree angle. At the foot, no tilt, but does have 90 degrees of rocker. And then again, like I said in the transformation, you know, you can store weapons however you like. Oh, you could put one there too, look at that. But I think I'm gonna store mine with the gun swords on the back. And then I'm gonna put these on the undersides of the forearm. Not only does that cover up those nice big holes in his underside of his forearm, but it does give it more of a little bit G1 flavor going on there, for me at least, because I used to rotate the guns out instead of the hands when he was fighting so he could shoot that way. But that's just me. If you have a copy of this guy, you can display him however you like. That does it for a look at Skullgrin in his robot mode and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a Transformers review, robot mode comparisons. And here we have Deluxe Class Skullgrin next to some of his Pretender buddies, Core Class Iguanus and Core Class Bombburst. And then we also have, from the Titans Returns line, the Skullgrin Prime Master Armor. For our final set of comparisons, here we have Deluxe Class Skullgrin next to the Titans Returns Legends Class Bumblebee and the Walmart exclusive Netflix War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. For final thoughts on the Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Skullgrin, I have to say it's a bit of a mixed bag, in my opinion. Of course, your mileage may vary. The alt mode is one of the most disappointing alt modes that I have come across in recent memory. I'm sure there might be one that's worse than this, but it's just not springing to mind as I'm filming. The robot mode is okay. For him to be a Pretender with no Pretender shell, that is. Being said, I like the fact that they did include the sword, even if it is a gun sword now, and that's fine. I do like the fact that you can peg in the cannons on the undersides of his arm to give it kind of a bit of that G1 flavor. And, you know, the belt sculpt is, you know, I like that as well. Just throwbacks to that original Pretender shell. The shoulders, the head, and the belt, along with the sword. Now, whether this guy belongs in your collection or not, he's in my collection. He'll stay in my collection until I at least find a better one or they make a better one. But, you know, I was kind of excited over this guy, and then not so much anymore after hands-on. But that is the way it goes sometimes. You just anticipate a toy and get it in hand, and the action figure just does not live up to your expectations. And part of that, you know, that's part of that on me for building the expectations up. But again, it's not, you know, it doesn't happen every time, but you know, it is very disappointing when it does happen. And again, this is all my opinion. Your opinion, of course, may vary. You may love the Assault mode. I just don't happen to share that opinion. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it, mostly. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or, you know, just help the channel out further, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.